Welcome to our presentation. We want to talk about school today, COVID preparation for school and beyond. We know that today is a very different time in our school and the academics and preparation. And so we want to make sure that not only our students are ready, our parents are ready. This was from one of our teachers. Andrea actually put this together for us, and I absolutely love it. It's just talking about all of the things that they're
The
going
world
through
we teach in
right
today is not the same one we entered. Teachers like me are wondering how students can possibly learn in such unpredictable times. With so much fear and trepidation, whether they are joining us in person or virtually, today's students come to us with needs we never dreamt we would have to support. But while these uncertain times may seem scary, there is hope. Virtual teaching has been a go-to for years, as teachers worldwide have leaned into technology to connect with kids during snow days and unplanned absences. Now we face a new challenge: supporting children digitally on a more permanent basis. Teachers began to get their feet wet at the end of the last school year when COVID hit communities worldwide, causing schools to close. We raced to plan instruction that would reach all students, relying on remote platforms that helped us communicate in amazing ways. Teachers could be found planning virtual grade-level graduations and visiting their students one-on-one at their homes. We did all of this gladly, anticipating the return to school in the fall. Now teachers like me are faced with the all-important task of truly making lemonade out of lemons. How do we reach students on an intimate level through virtual teaching when we can't lean in close to listen to students read, or greet our students with a morning hug, or celebrate our friendships? When the word share becomes taboo and shake and make up won't do, how do we respond? Teachers are resilient. Students are resilient. Technology is on our side, and when both teachers and students are so eager to connect, especially after such a long hiatus, magic can and will happen. ICP-Teams has been involved in supporting students both virtually and brick and mortar for nearly 30 years combined. Their team of inspiring educators, counselors, and mentors are here to support you and yours through these most uncertain times and beyond. Just ask Sophie. They are eager to meet the academic needs of all students, guiding them through their educational journeys, no matter where they are learning.
Okay, so that's Andrea. She's a great, amazing teacher. I know we've got teachers on the call. I know we've got some private schools on the call. So I know that right now is just kind of a different time, but some of the families are trying to decide: do we send our students back to school? Do we homeschool our students? What's the new norm going to be? And I know that none of us really have that answer, but we do want to make it as easy as possible for them to transition back. ICP-Teams stands for Individual College Planning, Technology, Engineering, Arts, Math, and Science. We've been together now for over 7 years. Our counselors have over 30 years experience in helping with the educational industry. STEM, as you know, it used to be STEM, it changed to STEAM 2 years ago. It added in the arts, so now it's called STEAM, the science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. Our mission is just to help our students to make sure they're making guided, wise decisions today by pursuing the career best suited to their unique interests, personalities, capabilities. Taking the right classes now and staying involved in their education is essential to their success, and that is our purpose and mission, just so that our students can be successful not only in their academic journey, but in their future as well. I know the students, they have a lot of different questions right now. Parents, we have a lot of different questions right now. What do I want to major in? How do I earn scholarships? One of the things that we like for you to know is, you don't have to wait till your senior year to start being ready and applying and prepared for scholarships. That can start as early as ninth grade. How can I improve my ACT, SAT test scores? What classes should I be taking right now in high school? Will I be able to afford my dream college? How is that going to work? How do I pay for college? When do I start? And when does COVID stop? So we're going to discuss a lot of those. I know the parents have got a lot of questions too. Parents I've always stated, how am I going to pay for college? Students, I can tell you right now as a parent myself, you've got your biggest fan standing, sitting right next to you right now, and that's your parents. We've thought about your education since the day you were born. So it's something that's always been very important to us, and we want to make sure, how can we help you improve your grades? I think we go through this now more than ever because we as parents, we've had to try and help our students in different areas that we've never tried or been able to try to help them before, with them being homeschool right now. So what is the FAFSA? When do I need to have that completed? Your FAFSA opens up, opens October the 1st of your senior year. Pub 970. Pub 970 is done in the spring of your student's freshman year of college. And then there's also what we call the appeal process, and that's something I want everyone to kind of know about as well. There was a lot of money that we were able to save families and students for the appeal process because we were able to negotiate different colleges and different costs, and a lot of our students were able to go out of state versus in state for cheaper. So said, for an example, she thought like she was going to go and was set to go to UNC Chapel Hill. But at the end of the day, when we negotiated and appealed the award letters, she's now attending the University of Michigan, and she's very excited about that as well. How can I make sure we don't miss out on opportunities? There's so many opportunities out there, so many things that we could be doing right now to be proactive in the educational realm. I know that parents, we're working full-time jobs, we're doing what we can do for our students. So I just want to make sure we start answering those questions and to let you know why it is so important to be prepared and to be ready. What happens if a student's not prepared? 5% of students with a college degree are living in poverty. And what that means is that most of the students that go out, they get their education, they're able to make a living. And so I always told my daughter, I said, I don't care what you do. I just want you to be happy. I want you to be happy, fulfilled, do something that you're passionate about doing. And that's really important to me. 59% of students with only a high school diploma are living in poverty. So students today, more than ever, is important to have that degree. And so certain jobs maybe still don't require that degree, or but they still are going to require that high school diploma. They're still going to look at those things. So that's really important. 86% of college grads more likely to say they have a career and not a job. And so there's a big difference in having a career versus a job. And I'm going to talk about that. I'll talk a little bit about that now. So when I first started, I started in the educational industry. I've been part of it my whole life, I feel like, but my first degree was in the engineering field. I worked for biopharmaceutical companies designing high purity systems. And as you'll soon realize, I'm a talker. I love to talk. I love kids. I love elderly. That's always been my passion. And so when I went back to school, I was able to do something I'm passionate about doing. And I can't even put into words what a difference that makes to do something that you love and that you're passionate about. STEM, and why we have focused on STEM and STEAM is that there's going to be over 18 million STEAM jobs available by the end of 2020. The growth in the STEAM jobs out there are astronomical. The growth in computer science fields, average increase in salaries for STEAM versus non-STEAM workers. Job placements today is 85% of job placements are in your STEAM roles. So that speaks a lot of volume as well. Steve Jobs said, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know it when you find it. And I couldn't agree more with that. This is one of the times, I don't know if a lot of you know, this is one of our first virtual presentations. We had one yesterday and one today. We normally do presentations in person. And so that's one of the things is I love the look in the eyes of our students and our families. And that's something that I miss so much. And I know that our teachers are missing our kids. And these are things that you know you have a career versus a job. And how I explain that to students, because those feelings are kind of hard to explain. But students, if you could imagine being in a classroom that you dread going to, we all of us have had that one class that we dread going to every day. But if you can imagine being in that class for 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, day in and day out, that's what it feels like to have a job. But every student, every parent, every one of us, we have something that we were designed, we were created to do. And that when we find that, like the passion behind that, we will make a difference in the world that we live in today. And I want all of you to find that. All of the different careers that are growing, computer science, mathematician, industrial psychology, 3D modeling, graphic design. This is just a handful. The visual arts, the medical fields, like there's so many different careers out there. SpaceX. We've been hearing a lot about SpaceX lately. SpaceX has been pushing the boundaries of human space and travel with upwards of over 35,000 jobs. Biotechnology. The biotechnology industry is changing how we treat diseases. I know now with the COVID and all of the different testing and things like that we're going through, Amazon increasing hiring by over 300% by 2025. That's over 542,000 jobs. Interesting story about Amazon. So we have a student. She was actually one of my very first students. She's out in the workforce now, but she is amazing, just an amazing individual. And Monica started off, she went to University of Columbia. She interned at Amazon, and she helped create and design Alexa. She works for Facebook now. She's a software developer for Facebook, but just an amazing student. And so just to get to hear experience through Amazon and all of the different things Amazon has going on. We talk about competition and being prepared for competition. Who is your competition for colleges? So I think now our college rates will increase. They'll increase dramatically. Normally, we've had 40% increase in international students enrollment in the last 5 years. And this is something that has hurt a lot of schools. This has hurt a lot of schools, a lot of private schools in the U.S., a lot of boarding schools in the U.S., trying to figure out how to get those international students back to the U.S., to be able to participate in the academics, whether it be high school, college. That's something now that it's going to be important for us to keep an eye on. There's been 15% increase in enrollment at post-secondary schools in the last 44 years. So right now, and even more so now than ever, planning for high school, planning for college and high school is life-changing. So I just want us to go through together and kind of talk about how do I do that? How do I make sure of that? And how do we make sure that we're taking the right steps now? So step one is going to be to know your major. I know a lot of times they'll say, how do I know what I want to major in? I have no idea what I want to do tomorrow, what I want to eat for supper tonight. And guess what? It doesn't matter how old you are. what do you want to eat for supper is never going to change. You're always going to want to know that. But there's so much that's out there now. Just really take some time. It's not a decision you need to make immediately. It's something you want to start looking into. You can ask your parents. We can talk to our students. They can tell you. They know you better than anyone knows you. It's your personality hasn't changed. Your interest will change. Your personality does not. So looking at the things that you're drawn to. If you didn't get paid, what would you volunteer to do on your time? And what careers relate to that? So why that is important and how we want to make sure that we're doing this is 80% of students change majors at least twice when not prepared. Changing majors, every time you change a major, you waste time, you waste money. So let's make sure that we're not doing that. Let's set ourselves up to not do that. 50% of students are going in with undecided majors. So what happens to the students that are going in with undecided majors? What happens to the classes that they could be taking in high school right now to get credit towards their major? What happens to the students who have taken these classes, they go in with an undecided major, and then they decide what they want to major in, and the college that they're at currently don't have what they want to major in, and they have to transfer colleges. Your merit-based aid and a lot of your grants and things are rewarded to you directly out of high school. So if you change colleges, you change majors, you not only lose time and you lose money, but there's so much that merit-based aid is good for 4 years. So if you lose that, you've lost that merit-based aid. Merit-based aid is college specific. So let's ask ourselves the right questions. Are you okay with doing that for the rest of your life? And what does it open up to other career paths for you? Like, this is really big in the medical fields and the psychology fields and the engineering fields. There's so many different things that you can major in that you can already start looking into that's going to be parallel. There's going to be a lot of things together, just like with the engineering industry right now. Mechanical engineering is kind of plateaued. It's kind of there. But if you look at architectural engineering, so you can have a mechanical engineering degree, but it would be harder to get an architectural degree or architectural job. But if you have an architectural job or architectural degree, the different careers that will stand up and that will be available and out there for you. So let's start working on that. Like, work towards, we choose a major, really spend some time thinking about that, researching careers, and we help you do that. We help you to research those careers. We want to make sure we're helping to research those careers with you so that you can start working towards college credits to save time and save money, your AP classes, your IB classes, your dual enrollment classes, your early college classes. Take those classes in high school now while they are free. Those classes are free for you to take right now. You score 3, 4, 5 on that AP exit exam. That counts for college credit. But what we need to do is dissect that, and so that we can know, okay, if this college is going to take 2 of my AP classes, but they will accept my ACE classes or they will accept my IB classes, those are big things to know so that we can start saving time, saving money. And then next is choosing the colleges, a college that fits. This is so important as a family to talk about, because college is going to be your new home. Like, that's where you're going to be for the next 4 years, maybe longer. That doesn't fit you. Excuse me. And that's something to look at. So is it too close to home? Is it too far away from home? Parents have probably had that conversation. You're going to college, you're going to school, and you can go anywhere you want to go, just only an hour away from me. Or some students are like, I'm going across the country. But I've heard students say, oh, I'm going to University of Georgia because I love the football team, and I'm going to this school. Vincent, these are actually 3 of our students. So this is Sage. He came to us in 7th grade. This was his first college tour trip. But this was Duke. Vincent here, he's actually getting ready to be a senior at University of Rochester. But as you can see, he's wearing his Duke blue. We're at Duke. Everything that the student had when he came to do the college tours in the Northeast was Duke colors. So this kid had said he was going to Duke. From the time he started the program, Duke was #1 on his list. He had been looking at Duke. We had been talking to him about other colleges. And he's like, you can put those colleges on my list, but Duke is my first choice. So, of course, we're not here to change your mind. We're just here to help you to make the right decisions along the way. So, good thing is Vincent got to tour Duke. Vincent toured Duke. He stepped off, and we drove around for a minute to take a look at the campus, and he's like, oh wow. He's like, Miss Meg, I do not want to go to this school. I was wrong. He said, this college is huge. And so we toured the school, we toured some other schools, and at the end of the day, he's attending University of Rochester. It's a smaller, intimate school. Everything is right there on campus. It's got its own little community surrounding the college. So it's a great fit. And so that's really important to start looking at. Like, look at all of the colleges, the pros and the cons of each. Like, let's make a list of those. And 3, how do we pay for college? So students may have not thought about this as much as parents. We think about this, but paying for college is something that we need to start looking at now. This is why it is so important. Student loan debt. I can speak for myself. I'm still paying back student loans. I'm probably going to still be paying back student loans by the time my grandson is going into college. I'm not sure, but I hope not. But it seems like it's only dwindling down pretty slow. So I'm assured that there's parents, people on the call today that the same applies, that they have are still paying back student loans or know someone still paying back student loans. But today there's over $1.3 billion in student loan debt in the U.S. And that's ridiculous with all of the monies that are on the table that we could be preparing for while we're getting prepared through high school to be eligible for that money, those scholarships, that merit-based aid. 44% of college grads are unable to find work due to the lack of research. Let me talk about that for just a minute, what we were talking about earlier with choosing the careers that are going to fit. So you don't get out of college, go to find a job, and then you can't find a job in the area that you majored in because those jobs are now obsolete. So that's why it's so important to make sure we look at those. Average student loan debt is in the upwards of $35,000 to $40,000. I personally know someone that has over $100,000 in student loan debt. They were paying more for their student loan than I was paying for my car payment and almost my house. So those are things, students, that we do want to keep you from making those same mistakes. And at ICP-Teams, this is how we walk through, we help our students, we work with our students to make sure that you are staying on track and that we make sure that we start putting that plan in place together. So what we do, you have a dedicated team of professionals. At ICP-Teams, we're very passionate about what we do. We have the most licensed college planning educational professors, professionals in the country of any other educational industry. We're very proud of that. We do a timetable and admissions planning. You have 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week tutoring. We do focused career planning. We do unlimited SAT, ACT test prep, our college matching, financial planning, essay prep, and award review. We work together with the teachers. We work together with the guidance counselors, with the parents. We all have responsibility into this. Students, you're held accountable. We all have to work together. I think now is more time than ever to be that village. We always talking about it takes a village to raise a kid. And so we want to just be part of that village. So this is not replacing anybody's career or job. This is working together for the greater good of the student and family. So with unlimited tutoring, the tutoring itself, all of our tutors have to have, and they go through a testing series with whatever they're applying to tutor in. They have to have at least a bachelor's. Most of ours have master's, PhDs. Erin Creed is over our tutoring and test prep department. She's got her PhD from Virginia Tech. She is amazing with the kids. I'm going to show you in just a minute some of her work and how she works with the students. So you have tutors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you also have test prep and test diagnostics 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So this is what our test prep diagnostic looks like. We send the diagnostic to you, and once you take that diagnostic, it comes back to us. It shows you, like, shows us where your strengths are, shows us where your weaknesses are. You get to see the same thing. So now we can work on where you need to work on in those areas so that we can turn those weaknesses into your strengths. So this is Erin. She does, again, the test prep and some of the tutoring, and she's got a team under her. But I'm just going to show you a little bit of how it works together. I'll move it fast forward a little bit.
Predominant differences are for the ACT, you're allowed to use a calculator. For the SAT, you're only allowed to use a calculator on some of the questions. So we're going to be reviewing some ACT math questions today. And we're going to focus on the ones that we don't need to use a calculator on. So they're every bit as applicable to the SAT non-calculator sections as well. So let me get this pulled up for us. All right, so here is an example of some ACT math questions. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through these together. We're going to focus on a couple of different things. The first one is, one, how do we actually solve the problem? Number two is, what is the problem really testing? Because sometimes that'll tell us how to solve the problem. And then number three, are there kind of tips and tricks that we can use our answer choices to better help us solve it so that we can maximize our efficiency for time? All right, so let's look for some keywords in this question. For number one, we have the top surface of a rectangular table with an area of 100 square feet and a width of 5, and it wants to know the length of the surface. Well, they gave us some keywords here, such as area, or length, width, and area. Well, if we remember that our area is our length times width, this is a pretty simple plug and play, right? They gave us area, 100. We don't know length, and we have a width of 5. So our length is simply going to be division, which will be 20. Most of the tests in the beginning, the questions start off like this, right? Relatively simple. We just have to know the rules. Okay, so let's look at question number two. For this one, somebody lost their wallet, right? And they gave us a combination of pieces of information about what's in that wallet. A couple of $20 bills, $5 bills, $10 bills, etc. So again, let's look for some keywords. Randomly or drawn randomly. When you see things like drawn randomly, we want to think this is a probability question. All right, oh, it even says probability, that the bill drawn will be a $20 bill. So for probability questions, we want to be thinking about our options, right? Our chances over our total number of options. So how many bills do we have total? Well, let's just count them up. 2 plus 9 is 11. 16, that's it. 16 total bills. That always goes on the bottom. Now, for this particular problem, we want a $20 bill. Well, how many $20 bills do we have? 5. 5 $20 bills. Pretty simple, right? So we have a 5 out of 16 chance that the bill that will be drawn randomly as a $20 bill. Now it's
all right, so I was just going to give you a little bit of instruction to show you kind of how the test prep works. Same thing goes with the tutoring. The tutoring, the test prep is live. We also have added in virtual classrooms. And I can't begin to tell you how much I have loved the virtual classrooms because it has kept our students engaged. I know that we sometimes don't realize the impact that it's had on students. Anxiety rates have gone up, the depression has gone up, suicide rates have gone up. Those are always things that we don't like to talk about, but we work with some really high caliber students that are perfectionists. They want to make sure that their work is done. And so we work with students all over the chart, but it's been really important for those students to have that interaction. It's been great because they've been able to interact with students all over the country. So they've had people in North Carolina, people in Florida, people in Georgia, people in New York, and they're able to take that class together and engage because we are humans. We like to talk, we like to communicate. So your tutoring is smartboard, whiteboard. It's live tutors. We have live tutors up until 11 p.m. And then we have the other tutors. We have a third party with Wisant. So you have 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week tutors. We do career guidance. So we do some assessments. It's personality assessments, learning style assessments to see where you are. What kind of careers match you, so that we can look at those careers, what kind of the growth. This we were talking about yesterday as well. Have a student, Kanayat. Kanayat is a fireball. I absolutely adore her. When you ask her to have it completed, you can barely get it sent to her and it's done. So that is one of the things that we've looked at. She's like, you know what, I'm going to college, like that's not an option. And she's going in the medical field and she's like, I'm not making under 6 figures. And we're like, okay, so those are the things, and that's what we were shooting for. So we looked at all of these different careers, and what came up with hers is hospitalist. And I don't know about you, but I've never heard of a hospitalist. So we've done the research, and it's well over 6 figures, almost up in the $200,000 a year mark. Same time as going to school with some of the other areas of medical field she was looking at, but getting paid almost double. So that was something that was very interesting to me, to be able to look at the different options that are out there. Then the financial aid, we want to make sure we help students qualify for grants and other government aid. We assist with completing the Pub 970. Again, that is done in the spring of your student's freshman year of college. We assist and go over with you the FAFSA. You can also do what's called an expected family contribution, which is that's your EFC calculation, but you can do an early FAFSA to get an early calculation on your FAFSA as well. We just want to help minimize those out-of-pocket costs to the family and to the students, so we can understand the merit-based scholarships and merit scholarships. So we want to know what scholarships fit you, what scholarships should we start looking at and applying for. We show you college with the merit-based aid and how to earn it, to make sure if the colleges are looking for a 3.9 and you have a 3.8 to be eligible for that merit aid. We want to know that now so that you can start preparing for that. Each college has different amounts of merit-based aid, and merit-based aid is college specific. We work with our students with the essay writing. Students, I text. I am guilty of that too. But text messaging has ruined the English language. I can't even talk trying to say it. So essay writing and guidance. So send your essays in. Your essays are reviewed. We go over those essays with you for the scholarships, ones you're doing in class today, any of them that you're going to be submitting to the colleges. We help with those. So you have a team. You have a team behind you now, both socially, we're there, emotionally, mentally. We are here to help you to excel, not just academically, but all around. We just want to make sure we have the staff that's there, that's ready to listen, to be heard. We want each of your students, we want you to be at your best in every facet of your life. And so just know you've now got that team in place that's going to help assist you. We do tours. We do college tours every year. Now our college tours have been on halt. We also didn't get to do our summer trip. We do trips to give back to the community. every year as well. It looks really good on our students' college applications. We had to put that to a halt for this year as well. But that is something that we look forward to starting back up. So you're able to do as many of the college tours as you would like. Each year we select 5,000 students across the country. We also partner with some private schools. We have our educational management system in place. We have the college tours, your STEAM camps. The tours are done nationwide. And our goal is just at the end of the day that our students, our families, you're prepared. You're less stressed when it's time to apply for college because you've been preparing for this moment, not just for months. You've been doing it now since you've started the program and it stays on the forefront. You're preparing today means there's no plan and nothing is left to chance. We're with our students every step of the way to help them to get the best education, the best career path for the smallest cost. We stay connected with you. You get updates, like I was saying before, messages are sent to your phone, your email. Students, we know that one or of two devices, your watches, your phones are going to be attached. You'll get your messages coming up on your iWatches, your watches. You get the messages, it comes up. You will get them across your iPad. You'll get them on your email. So what we'll do, we'll go to the www.icpteams.org, and I'll talk to you. I'm going to just show a little bit of the back end of how our program works. So we're going to go through that right now. Everybody can see the screen. Okay. So I'm just going to go through a fast demo of how to get started. First thing you'll do is, of course, go to the website, ICP-Teams.org. You'll click on sign up. You want to click on sign up first. That's important because this gives you a username. And with that username is how you let your, whoever recruited you or whoever talked to you about being part of the program, they need that so we can switch it over to premium. You will fill out all of the information here in asterisks, and with this username, you just let them know, if it's Kelly or if it's Karen or whoever your counselor was, just give them the username. We'll switch you over. And that way, as soon as that is done, the only thing you have to do now is when you go back to the website, you just log in. Once you log in, you have access to everything. It accesses to your portal. Portal is custom to you. Students are different ages, different grades, different colleges. So everything is custom to the student. You'll click on My Page. This is for the premium students. You can click onto your portal. I'm going to go over that. And then we also have, 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week tutoring. Our tutors all have bachelor's, master's, PhDs, background checks. We also have a third party with Wyzant. Wyzant, we just recommend using Wyzant after hours. So that way, if it's 11 o'clock and until 9 o'clock the next morning and you need a tutor, that tutor is there. You just click launch Wyzant, and we've already got you set up. You'll already be set up so that when you go directly to the Wyzant, you can access the tutors, and that's on demand. And then your portal, you'll just click on your portal. And when I click on mine, because I am admin, it takes me to the back side. So let me go in, and I'll go ahead and go to just the one we used for demo. And that is going to be, okay. So here is where everything is put into the system. You will actually, this is where you chat. You have unlimited chat. You can talk. You can ask for meetings. You can request your tutor. You can have tutoring sessions. This is where your meetings with your counselors will show up so you can stay on track. It syncs to your calendar. This is where your checklist is going to be at. This is where the different assigns your different counselors so the different counselors can work on your portal with you. All of your information, your testing, this is where we also keep notes from us as well for the counselors communicate there as well. So now I will log in as a student. I'm going to show you what it looks like from the students. You can actually go in, once you log in as a student, this is your home page. You'll customize it to you. You'll be able to put your things wherever you want to, however you want it to lay out. Then you can manage your notifications. You can set it up to go to your cell phone. When you set it up to go to your cell phone, everything here is going to be sent to your email, parents, your email, the student's email, and to the student's cell phone. So they'll just text this code to this number, and it sets their cell phone up for automated messages. And anytime we communicate with a student, they get direct communication, as like for asking for test scores or anything like that. Our program does translate into many different languages. So if you want to or need to translate it, that's great. I love this part here. I've worked with a lot of different families. I've worked with thousands of families, but I don't think there's anything as gratifying as watching a parent that normally would not be able to be part of their child's process of education, when that's one of the most important things in the world to them, to be able to understand and to communicate in their language. So I love that. This is where the testing is at. Your testing scores will go in. You'll be able to, each time you take the test, your test scores will be updated so that we can make sure it matches to your colleges. And this is how we're talking about working with the colleges. All of your priority decision, early decisions, the deadlines, all of those stay updated. We add the colleges to your list. You can add, this is where you add colleges to your list, students. This is how we match up to make sure that you're where you need to be. So if it's the college, we are able to see exactly test scores where, okay, this student, test scores are greater than. So we know that the merit-based money is there. We know about how much merit-based is there. We know the different, this is where we leave the college notes. This is where the different degrees, we make sure that they have the major. Here's where we add a college note to that. Essay requirements, so we can go ahead and start working on those essays. Application outlines, so this is making sure that we're ready, we have the application process, we've been accepted. So all of these will stay in place throughout the process. That'll change throughout the years. Files, you'll start uploading the files as soon as you start the program. You can upload your files via Google Docs. You can upload your files from your computer. You can upload your files from your phone. You can take just snapshots or pictures of your phone and send them in as well. So that's very convenient. This also is whenever your report cards come in, you'll submit those. When you're looking at getting tutoring and you want to do a specific sheet, you can upload that directly into your portal. You can also be able to upload it directly to your whiteboard as well. This is where your emails come in. This is the calendar and how the calendar syncs up. All of your calendars can sync up so that you will get notifications to remind you of our meetings we have together, that we have a meeting with the counselor 10:15 a.m. talking about your careers. So that's really just a great short, sweet overview. There's so many different things in your portal. Once you get started, like, you will be able to see how definitely in depth that those things are to you. So just talking about the different pieces, different parts of where you need the most help. So it matches up your GPA. It tells you what the average GPA is for the students. We do the net price calculator. We do that with you. We do the financial aid information so that we can show you in-state, out-of-state, merit-based aid, private, public test scores, how much merit-based aid that the school typically has on average. So that, if you have any questions or if there's something that I haven't covered, please don't hesitate to reach out. You have a team with you always, so make sure that you reach out when you need help. Once you have that done, all right, once you have that done, you'll just contact the person that referred you. I know some of you were recommended by some of our counselors here on the call. So please reach out to them. As you can see, everything that we covered today, it's just a one-time cost of $2,998. There's also payment options and financial options that are available. So with another thing I wanted to throw in. So with working with thousands of families and families all over the country, when I ask parents, like, we're always looking at ways to improve our program, and if there's anything that we missed under that umbrella when it comes to preparing and preparation. And so I met an amazing man. His name is Jerry McCormick, and he is on the call with us today, and I'm going to introduce him and just let him tell you a little bit about what he does. So when I talk to parents, I get, how am I going to pay for college, and is my child going to be safe? So Jerry, I'm going to turn it over to you, and we have some schools on, we've got some parents on, and I just kind of want you to be able to introduce yourself as well.
Fantastic. And Beck, what a great presentation. You do a great job of showing how ICP-Teams can really help the whole student. And the conversation came up between me and Meg was that we have a component of safety that all the parents care about, but we want to see how can we help these students really grow through college and beyond to live safer lives. And that came from my training came from research of 20 years with active shooter, where I looked at all sorts of cases of active shooter. I interviewed active shooters in jail. And that training was for first responders, police, emergency medical services. Along the way, people started asking my research. I'm like, that's really not what you need. And so I started doing a different form of research, why police officers aren't victims of crime. And I've interviewed 9,500 police officers in America, Europe, and China. I have 7 schools, private schools in China that I help meet with the seniors each year. And I talk to them about safety. I give them this course, and we help them. We're trying to reduce the number of victimization of crimes of our Chinese friends. And that's one of the ways we're doing is we're giving these key steps, these 6 steps that you can do to really enhance your safety. And so in talking to other private schools in America and Europe, it's really important that we help this whole student. What ICP-Teams is doing, I think, is so special that I just wanted to be a part of that when we and Meg first met. And so I'm excited about that. And another component is distracted driving. A lot of our parents are really, you got to imagine that first time you hand those keys to that young person and let them drive away, how you feel about that. So how can we enhance the whole part of the student in safety-wise, so when they drive or how they're not going to be a victim of a crime. I'm really happy to work with parents as well on when their students want to move from a dorm to a city of life. How can you pick a house? How do you find crime stats? And so how can we help them make the best choices to keep their loved ones safe? Again, I'm Jerry McCormick, and I'm glad to be working with ICP-Teams.
We're very thankful for you as well, Jerry. I love what you do as well. So I was blessed to interact. So I will go ahead. I kept it a little bit under my hour again, so I'm getting better. So if anyone, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out at all. And for anyone that, just please get in touch with the counselor or the representative that recruited you, and we look forward to working with you, your families, your students, and your success as well.